Whether I like this fact or not, I am still actively a recovering shopaholic. I've since left that behind specifically because I learned about the environmental impact of consumerism, and I don't want to be a participant in that. So for the last several years, I have been working to remove myself from this cycle of buying things to make myself happy and then being inevitably sad again and starting the hamster wheel all over again. And much of that has been documented on this channel. If you didn't already know that, you might want to hit the subscribe button because you might be new here. And one of the videos I made was last fall. I made a video called Stopping Myself from Shopping for Fall Fashion, okay? Because there are 2 times of year where I feel very called back to being that hyper consumer self that I was. And that is when fall comes around, because I love fall fashion, and when summer comes around, because summers in Austin, Texas are miserable. And every time it comes around, I'm like, I need something that I feel comfortable in, that I can actually wear and not be miserable. And that always makes me think I need to go buy new stuff. But I'm trying to buy less stuff this year in general, and I am on a specific no buy, absolutely zero, tops for 2025. Hence this video of me caring for the things that I already have or creating things with fabrics I already have. Instead of going and buying things new, reinvigorating the things I already have, taking care of them, that is always so fulfilling and really takes me out of this headspace of feeling like I need to go buy new stuff for the summer season. So I have 5 projects that I want to get done in time for summer, and you're gonna do it with me. I'm so scared. I'm sorry? This is gonna be crazy. If it works, this will be incredible. First up, I have some white linen pants that I do really like. I do think are summery. I definitely have worn these to like pool days. I go to the pool every Saturday in the summer. So problem is I can't wear them outside of a situation where like I'm wearing a bathing suit because they are so see-through. Not opaque. What's the opposite of opaque? Regardless, I have a couple pairs of white linen pants. I don't reach for these because they're so see-through. And I think a good solution to that would be to dye them. Because another thing that I have been wanting is a pair of pants in this like apple, some people are calling it algae. I heard someone call it the other day, this is an algae girl summer. Like an avocado, pastel, I don't know what the color is, okay, but I'm obsessed with it. And I really want a pair of pants in that color. I'm gonna take some of my pants that I already have, dye them to the color so that I'm not buying anything new. I am actually gonna get use out of these again, and helping me get something I want to buy without buying anything at all. I thrifted this skirt last summer and I am obsessed with it. The colors are so good. The flow is so good. It also has this drop waist style, if you can see the way that the cutouts don't start until pretty far down the dress. I think that's pretty in, and so I love this so much, but I have not worn it because the bodice of it, like the part that's drop waist, is so long. Like it's just, it doesn't look good on me. I don't wear it because of that reason. If I pull it all the way up to like literally my boobs, then it's okay. But there's a simple way to fix that I could actually do myself and get actual wear out of this garment and then have the most beautiful flowy summer skirt, and that's just to shorten the bodice here. These are my dedicated protest pants. I wear them every time I go to a protest. I usually wear black to protest because usually the situation I'm there for is not a good one. But last time I wore them to a protest, they got caught in my chain of my bike, and so I need to fix this, and I'm thinking about doing something cute, some kind of cool embroidery, maybe a patch, something like that. We will figure it out as we go throughout this video, but this needs to be fixed before they're not good anymore. So that has been on my list for a while, and we're gonna do it. I thrifted this necklace and it quickly became one of my favorites because I love layers, as I've been saying. So this necklace includes 1, 2, 3 chain layers, which just makes it easy to throw on and have like layers immediately. And the 3rd chain had a butterfly charm on it, which, okay, if you know me, butterflies are like my personality right now. The chain broke, as you can see, split in half, and I haven't had time to fix it. It's been in my need to fix pile. And last but not least is my biggest undertaking. It's patchwork. I'm trying not to thrift clothes. I'm not thrifting any tops, but I did go to my secondhand craft store and find these gingham patches. I think it was like 7 or 8 fat quarters of this like pastel gingham. I would love to make a patchwork matching set. I already made this fabric. This is some of the fabric that we will use in today's video to make said matching set. This took so many hours on its own, and I'm really proud of it. The white part is just a sheet from a thrift store that I got for literally $1. But we will have to cut out the pattern and actually sew this into a matching set. Something new, something cute that can fulfill my feelings of wanting something new because it's summer, something light to wear. We're gonna make a shorts and tank top set. This is a big undertaking, but I'm very excited about it. I am so excited for this first project because a pair of green pants like this has been on my wish list since last summer. And like I said, I've been trying to look for fabric that I could use to make my own, because it just, like, that's one of the big reasons also that I like doing this, and I've been trying to get into sewing my own clothes. As a plus size person, as someone who prioritizes sustainability and like ethical production, it's so hard to find the things that I want. I also like prefer to buy things secondhand, so then that adds a whole nother layer to it, right? So actually knowing that at the end of this, I will have the pair of pants I've been dreaming about for a year, and I didn't have to buy any new clothes for it, I'm so excited about that. And I'm just excited for this video overall. I hope that this video encourages you to tackle that list of things in the back of your mind that you know you've been wanting to either upcycle or make better, or if you have a mending pile, which I do, hopefully this encourages you to get to those things. Oh, these are gonna be crazy. Look at that. Is it too green? Ah, this is gonna be crazy. We gotta start for 30 minutes, it says. We're starting with a dyeing project. I feel like it's an easy win. Dyeing this pair of pants is particularly much easier than the last time I tried to dye something in the last episode of this kind of series. I was trying to dye my backpack, and it was a whole mess because the backpack didn't fit in this tub or this pot I'm using, and so I tried to dye it in the washer. At the end, it turned out good, but the process was a little bit not as straightforward as this one was. I already am so excited for how this is looking, but we will check in at the end of the video to get the final version of it once it's all dry and good. But is it splotchy or is it just okay? We're gonna set this out to dry. We'll check back. Okay, while we wait for the pants to finish, let's work on this necklace. I think this will be a pretty quick and easy fix. All my necklace working tools are in here, so I need to use them to basically detach the finding that's on here now, and then we will also use them to reattach a new one. Now, you know I couldn't make a video like this without going out of my way to sing the praises of my secondhand craft store. I feel so incredibly grateful and lucky and privileged to have access to a secondhand craft store. It's made my journey to being more creative and learning to do things myself and create things so much easier. I definitely, just because of my own personal philosophy, would have a lot of pauses about having to go and buy things new whenever I wanted to do a project. I still think that there is value in creating things yourself, even if you're crocheting and knitting with brand new yarn and you sew with brand new fabric. I still think there's an active resistance to our normal consumer culture in that. So I'm not criticizing it, just for my own peace of mind and my own philosophies. My secondhand craft store is my second home, quite literally at this point. So I went there so that I could get some findings, which is the end of the necklace, so that you can put the chain in and close it up and attach it back to the necklace. Findings, and I also got a chain. It's not the same chain that the necklace was originally. It was more of a snake chain, I guess, and this is more of a regular link chain. Regardless, it's gonna serve the same purpose, okay? I don't care, and I paid 50 cents for it, okay? I'm not complaining. This process was actually really quick, really easy, and I don't know why I've been putting it off for the last couple months. That was another really easy win, easy project. And if you've been putting off something like this, please do it. This is the easiest necklace to throw on in the summer that adds so much to an outfit without making me hot. So I'm so glad I checked this off my to-do list. Hello, and welcome to the crafting overflow corner of my room. Sometimes I seek out supplies for projects that I know I'm working on, and other times I find supplies with such good deals that I don't have plans for them. We have things like all this lace trimming I found at an estate sale, this bag of multiple skeins of yarn that I found at the thrift store, more yarn. But most importantly is the reason that we are over here right now, and that is this bag of many scrap fabrics. It has random ones that I have found, this is actually really pretty. I forgot I have this. Not the point. That's not why we're here. As we know, I'm obsessed with my secondhand craft store, and they sell these grab bags of just random pieces of fabric. These have come in handy so many times on projects I'm working on. If I'm making little letters, little fruit shapes, I have more plans to do that soon. They charge $1 for these bags of many fabrics, and the reason that I'm going through here is because I think I'm going to use some of these like random scraps to make a patch to put over the rip in my protest pants, because I was thinking it'd be really cool if I could put like a protest phrase on the pants, and I thought about maybe trying to buy a patch, but I don't really want to buy anything if I'm being honest. And then I thought my sewing machine technically has embroidered letter settings. I've never used them and I am a little bit nervous, but I think that I can use it to make my own patch and then just kind of sew together the whole. I might put some fabric fuse over that and then create a patch and iron it on. If it works, this will be incredible. So this is the hole we're working with. Can you see her? It's also like torn right here. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to make a patch. It's gonna be square so that I can actually have it go all the way down to here just to fuse that all together. I took out some black scrap fabric from this bag, and I also have just a random piece of iron-on fusible, I don't know what you call this, stabilizer or something. I'm gonna iron this on and then hopefully squeeze it into the embroidery hoop just to give it some tension. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then the phrase I want to embroider onto the patch is planet over profit, and then maybe we'll use some like color thread to do some green and blue details. I don't know, never done this, wish me luck. I'm so scared. I don't need to be scared, it's not that serious. Okay, I think all we have to do now is hit the button. Let's go here maybe. What else? That's it, right? I don't have to do anything else. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. It's a small pea, but it's a pea nonetheless. I don't know if we can size them. I don't know if I'm able to do that or change the orientation as well. But it's a pea, and we can definitely spell out everything. I think not from here though, because it would have to go, if I put it in like this, I need to put it in like this. Okay, and we'll just cut that off when we're done. We're ignoring that pea. But we know what's going on now, which is very exciting. Give me a pea. Did I just fuck it up again? Oh God, this is gonna hurt my brain. If it's gonna make the letters this way. Oh my God. Okay, something was calling me to do people instead of planet. I think I might do both, but I think I just finished the people. I didn't cut each thread because I figure I can cut them after. And then once I cut out all the little threads in the middle, did I spell that right? People. Why does that feel like that looks weird, but that's definitely people, right? I did add some color with a little wave in the middle to separate the phrases. And I'm just gonna use my seam ripper to take off all those extra threads in between the letters. And then I'm gonna cut this big enough to cover all the things we need to cover on the pants. And then we're gonna iron this on to the hole. Like I keep explaining, these projects are so scary to me, honestly. Like, I'm so nervous, but it's not that serious. I've done so many things successfully, I don't have to be scared. So we're gonna just shorten this part before it flares out here. We just wanna take some length off of this. So I'm gonna just flip this to kind of see like how much I would wanna take off. This much? Let me grab my measuring tape. I'm actually just gonna try to use the same piece of elastic. Essentially, all I want to do is cut off however long this is from this garment, and then I'm just gonna French seam it back together and call it a day. That is, well, not including the elastic, 2 inches exactly. So one thing about me is I cannot stand when someone doesn't know what they're talking about, but they speak on it like they do, like they are some kind of authority. And that's why you will notice on this channel, I will shy away from talking about topics that I don't know about, that I don't have my own experience in. I try really hard not to do that because of how much I hate it. So everything in this video, not a tutorial, okay? Definitely not trying to teach you how to do any of these things. I am very much a beginner. I am very much learning from YouTube tutorials. When I started talking about, you know, my sewing journey over on my Instagram, people started asking for tutorials or to show them how I did it, and like, I'm just not there, okay? But we are about to get into my matching set, my patchwork matching set that I made. I will recommend you the people who made the patterns I used. So I used the ginger tie top from Small Museum and the lane pants short pattern from Sydney Graham. They know what they're talking about. Go learn from them, not me. I'm literally so scared. This is called the burrito method. And supposedly, I'm gonna pull on this and my armholes are gonna be done, but I'm literally so scared I messed it up. Okay, I think it's working. Sewing is like so stressful, and I know it sounds so silly to be like, this is me facing my fears. Like, one of my biggest fears is just basically not trying new things or getting to a point in my life where like my anxiety takes over so much that I never do anything anymore. I can't tell you how many times when I'm sewing something, I have a moment of just like freaking out and having to overcome my anxiety in like real time. Overcoming like when things get hard during sewing or when it gets confusing has been so good for my mental health, and yo, we just did it. Oh, we did, look at that. That's a whole strap. I have to do it again on the other side, but essentially we are getting oh so close. My goal is actually to get the top done tonight. Maybe the shorts too, honestly. It's 10 o'clock and I'm a night owl. So if I give myself 2 to 3 more hours to work on this, I might just get it done tonight. Pray for me. Doing it again. All right, we have successfully finished 5 projects that are either like upcycling or repurposing or mending, etc., to stop myself from shopping. And I'm honestly really proud with how they all turned out. I was nervous about all of them, I would say, except maybe one. But the fact that they're all good enough for me to be like excited to show you is amazing. So let's go with the first project that I did because it was an easy one to check off the list. These pants are absolutely everything I wanted. They're the perfect color. They're the perfect material. That's why I wanted to do these, because I really like these. Just because they were a little see-through when they were white, I wasn't wearing them much. But now, like I said, it's algae girl summer. I feel like I'm gonna wear them so much. Maybe even with this top. I love a green and blue combo, okay? Maybe it's a little too on the nose for an environmentalist. I don't care. I love this. Then we fixed the necklace, which was another really easy fix. This necklace is genuinely one of my favorites, and so I'm very excited. Look, with this whole fit. Yes, please. Then we have the protest pants, which I was confident I could fix them, no problem. I definitely knew I could do that. But when it came to the idea of creating my own patch, I was definitely scared of that. But this is like, I'm really proud of this project. It's not even that crazy, but it's like something I just came up with on a whim and I went for it. Like, this was like I came up with the idea the night before and I did it the next day. So I think I'm a little bit more proud of it because of that. And even me showing you these, you can't really see the project because it's on the inside of my leg, considering my bike did this, right? That just makes sense. So I don't think people will really ever see it unless I tell them about it, but I think that makes it even more special. And this one was really easy and really good. Next up is the floral skirt, and I know I keep saying that I was scared to do these projects, but this in particular, I've never sewn anything that was like sheer and slippy like this. Everything I do has been so far like natural materials, which have a lot more structure and they're a lot easier to sew. So I was very nervous about this, but it was a really simple thing that I did, really. I just cut off like 4 inches of fabric and reattached it, and it came out really good. And now I feel much happier to wear this than I did when there was like that long bodice piece. So easy fix, but something I already had, something I thrifted last year, something I'll wear a lot more now. And then we have the project that undoubtedly took the most amount of effort to do, and it is this matching set that is gingham and white that I decided to make in honor of Pride Month. So the shirt has a little tie on the side, that's how it is. The shorts are just shorts, but you know when you put a piece of clothing on and you just know it's high quality? Am I bragging on myself a little too much here? And I know it is because I made it, but at the same time, I'm not used to wearing things that are quite so high quality. I decided to include this project in this video because obviously learning to sew and making my own clothes is a huge part of why I'm not buying clothes in 2025. So it's a big part of why and how I'm talking myself out of shopping. I personally try to complete one sewing project every month. It's been really good at helping me work with my creativity and just distracting myself, not just from shopping, but also from scrolling. It's been really good for my brain. And since I was working on it during this video anyway, I thought, yeah, this is definitely something I did to stop myself from shopping. But I'm really proud of it. It's definitely one of my favorite things I ever made. And today, the city of Austin is coming over to do a photo shoot in honor of me being an environmentalist for Pride Month. So those are all the projects I wanted to share with you today. I hope this motivates you to stop shopping, to stop scrolling, to get more creative, and to stop buying things and instead take care of the things that you already have. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see another episode in this little mini series, let me know in the comments. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.